What's crackalackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. And we're going over the draft grades. There we go, words. For the NFC East. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the video. If you join me on my draft watch along, my draft 3, 2, 1. What's crackalackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. Back again for some more NFL draft grades. Today we do the NFC East. But first and foremost, if you were along with, if you hanged out with me during my watch party, it's always thank you. I appreciate it. It was a ton of fun, and I can't wait for next year. Trying to figure out maybe easier way for me to do it, because boy, I was dragging by the end of it. I'm sure some of y'all were too. But go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. A lot of stuff going on the way. We're going to be doing it by division. So you're going to get one division a day. So AFC East, NFC East, and so on and so forth. It'll allow me a little time to get some of my 2021 NFL draft content started, as well as some other projects that I am working on. Just a heads up how the grades work here. It goes A through F. There's pluses, there's minuses, there's in between, so B plus, B minus. So how it works is C, anywhere from C to C minus. That is average. I think the team, they did a lot of things good, they did some things bad. It was a very so-so draft. Maybe they reached some places. It's just an average draft, so don't be offended by a C. D's below average. They reached on players, they just didn't do a good job. It's very hard for you to get an F. So there's going to be a lot of B's there, teams that were maybe very safe in the draft, that they just had an above average draft. They did very well in A's. A's knocked it out the park. They got value where value was available. And I mean, just say there's 3 A pluses among all 32 teams, and I have 9 teams with actual A grades. But let's go ahead, let's get into this first grade, being an A plus for the Dallas Cowboys. They murdered this draft. It was great. The CeeDee Lamb pick, like I said, getting value when it's available. CeeDee Lamb was a great pick. Be like, oh, well, they were kind of okay receiver. Who cares? CeeDee Lamb is a great value pick. So was Trevon Diggs, a guy that was talked about in the first round. They needed a corner too, so totally helps them out there. I love the pick. Neville Gallimore, another quality pick. I had a early third, late second round grade on him. So getting value where value is available. A lot of people thought he could slip into the first round anyway. So I like it, because on that interior, the Cowboys, yeah, they got Poe, they got McCoy, but those aren't 3-down guys anymore. So they needed some people in the rotation. Reggie Robinson was an interesting pick in the 4th round. A guy that, again, phenomenally athletic. Just hadn't really put it all together. He's very unpolished. So I don't mind them taking a guy that is tremendously, that's tremendously athletic. Tyler Biadasz, though, was a steal in the 4th. He immediately come in and replace Travis Frederick. I love the pick there. And then Bradley Anae, talking about getting value when value is available. I had a 3rd round grade on this guy. He falls to the 5th. Bradley Anae, they needed to find somebody to be on the other side of DeMarcus Lawrence. And I mean, they have Aldon Smith, they have Randy Gregory, but those are guys with some big character red flags. Bradley Anae comes in, just he instantly competes with those guys. And the quarterback decision at the end was kind of whatever to me. At that point, they'd already done a phenomenal job with the draft, so I was kind of okay with them grabbing a quarterback that probably will be on the practice squad. On to the next team. We're talking about the New York Giants, and the Giants, they got a B plus for me. Probably could have been an A minus. I kind of struggled. I was flipping and flopping between that. Overall, I left them a B minus or a B plus because their draft, I love their draft, but overall it was a very safe draft. They made the picks that they should. I don't think they really reached on anybody. I liked their draft. Andrew Thomas, phenomenal. Matt Pert, great. You got your tackles of the future right there. I love those picks. Xavier McKinney, I'm not quite sure what he's gonna accomplish. I feel like he occupies the same role as Jabril Peppers. So I'm kind of indifferent, but again, a guy that has a high floor, not necessarily a big ceiling, but a safe pick. Darnay Holmes, I really like this here. A guy that could immediately come in and compete for the slot with Julian Love. Eventually maybe play on the outside. Again, a guy, high athletic upside. Shane Lemieux, a very safe pick. He's just a good football player to put on the interior there. Cam Brown was a guy with huge athletic upside, but again, a guy still kind of feels like he's still learning the game of football. So I like that pick in the 6th round. Carter Coughlin, a former edge rusher, probably moving to off-ball linebacker. Maybe could even use him as a 3-4 end, or excuse me, a 3-4 outside linebacker. So could bring pressure in that way. I didn't really care for the Giants last, like their 7th round picks, but they're late round picks. So I guess it is what it is. Overall, I thought the Giants did a phenomenal job. They had a very safe draft, a draft they needed. And then on to my next one being the Philadelphia Eagles, and I gave them a B+ as well. Again, another team I flirted with putting an A- for, but I'm gonna just keep it at a B+. I love the Jalen Reagor pick, and boy, this team, they went out and they got speed at receiver. Like, speed apparently is king in the NFL. Based on how some of these teams drafted. I really like the Reagor pick. I love the Hightower pick in the 5th. Thought was real good. The Watkins pick in the 6th was also real good. So they got very fast receivers there. Now, Jalen Hurts was a bit of a head scratcher. I hated it a lot at first because it just didn't make sense to me, but I kind of came around to it a little bit more. Still think it was like, you could have kind of addressed maybe secondary or something else, but I don't hate it completely. Hurts can occupy a gadget role immediately and be a solid backup for the future. Davion Taylor, I think he won't pay dividends initially early, but he can in the future. The guy's kind of a value brand. Isaiah Simmons. So I like the pick. I like the value. I like Kevon Wallace in the 4th. Guy immediately come in and could come in and like be in sub packages, in those nickel and dime packages. I like Wallace a lot. Jack Driscoll, I like the pick of Driscoll. I just, man, with Bryce Hall still on the board, man, I really thought this team was gonna go Bryce Hall at some point. But I love Driscoll. He's a great prospect. He was falling. I had a 3rd round grade on him. They snagged him. Sean Bradley, he's gonna be. He immediately he helps as a coverage linebacker for this team. Prince Tango Wanagoho, great value for a guy who has huge upside, needs time to develop, and he can behind Andre Dillard, behind Lane Johnson, behind Driscoll, and honestly, they could put him at guard early in his career. Casey Tuhill, that's kind of a whatever pick. A guy that he's an okay pass rusher and he's an okay off-ball linebacker, but it was a 7th round pick, so kind of have at it. And then on to the final team, the Washington Redskins. I gave them a B. I really wish they could have traded down. Getting a 2nd round pick would have been so clutch for them, but I feel like for the first 4 rounds, they made all the moves they really needed to. Chase Young was a no-brainer if they couldn't trade out of the 2nd spot. They couldn't. They took Chase Young. Antonio Gibson, they announced him as a receiver, but he'll play running back too. So he gives them a lot of versatility. He gives them a lot of different looks that the offense can do. I like that a lot. Shadik Charles may have been a reach for me at this point. I wasn't that high on him, but the guy, he's a mammoth. So they just getting some tackle help was definitely necessary, and I'm very happy with the Trent Williams trade. Them being able to get, because they traded him for a 5th, and they were able to still get back a future 3rd. I thought was very good for the Redskins. Don't know how good, because rumors are that they passed on better deals. So, But Antonio Gandy Golden, I love this pick. He's big. He's a good vertical threat. He was very good at Liberty, granted, against a smaller conference. But when they were the independent, but it's not like they faced real like Power 5 powerhouses. But in those instances that they did, he still performed well. I liked the pick here. I thought those first I thought the Antonio Gibson Golden, the Charles, and the Gandy Golden picks were set up to help Dwayne Haskins succeed. I feel like this is a make or break year for Dwayne Haskins. They're like, here are these weapons. If you can't succeed with those, if we're picking in the top 5 again, then we're probably going to move on from you. So I like that thinking. I like that from the Redskins. Keith Ishmael was a guy I used to be kind of high on, but the more I watched him, his play strength, he just doesn't play to how strong he really is. So him in the 5th is kind of, there were better centers on the board. Kaliki Hudson, I thought they were kind of set at linebacker. And granted, Hudson, he's kind of in this weird in between is he a linebacker or is he a safety? He's not athletic enough really to stick at safety, but he's not big enough to stay at linebacker. So I don't know. The Cameron Curl pick was really good. Actually, I love their 7th round picks. Cameron Curl, a guy that can play corner, he can play safety. And then James Smith Williams, a guy that is very, very athletic. He's just a physical marvel, but hasn't really put it all together yet. He's still a bit raw, so guy that they can develop in the future. Overall, I liked for what they could do with this draft. I like where they went. But yeah, good on you, Redskins. And that's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, how your team did. But as always, until next time, you be easy, my friend. Later.